Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jelly here with yet another video, and today's video is actually going to be based on something that has been long awaited on this channel. It's going to be the tech part 2. Now, with that being said, tech part 2 is probably one of the most exciting videos that I've been looking most forward to. I just had to wait until I was able to actually get to this point. I do thank you guys all so much for 5,000 subscribers. It is a dream come true, and with that, also, I am running a giveaway, $100 in gold bricks. Pretty simple. All you got to do to enter is be subscribed to the channel and join the Discord, the server Discord. That's going to be in the link in the description below. Once you're in the Discord, there is a little page on the left that you have to go ahead and do whatever prompt I put in there. I think it's like your favorite and least favorite thing about Last War, your name and server, all that type of stuff. All you have to do is go over there. I'm going to be doing a winner poll, whatever, on probably like the 20th is going to be the final day. After the 20th, no submissions will be selected. And essentially how it's going to work is I'm going to be doing it on live stream. That way everybody can see it right there firsthand. But I'm not going to hold you guys here too much longer. Let's go ahead and get you guys right back to the video. Okay, so kind of before we jump right into what is actually going to be in the product of this video, there is two things that I have to discuss before moving forward, and make sure that you're sticking around for these two parts and not fast forwarding. The first part is in my tech part 1 video. I did mention that intercity truck trade is pretty much completely useless, and I still stand by that to this day. Now you might be asking, well, if you're saying that, why is it a 74%? And honestly, the simple answer is just because I did not have enough resources to get my tier 10 troops, but I still needed to spend my valor badges to get my tech day VS score up. So in turn, I went ahead and invested in intercity truck. So that's pretty much the only reason why. It did not cost me resources. It only costs you valor badges to go through the intercity truck. And the only other tech tree that does that is going to be the Alliance Dual Tech here. Now, obviously in the last video, I did discuss the Alliance Dual Tech tree, and I said, hey, straight up, no, this is a pretty good tree. You should do this, this, and this. Kind of disregard everything that I said in the last video. Just completely max this Alliance Dual Tech tree. So these are the two trees that do not require any resources, and they only require valor badges. Completely max this tree the second you can. So that's why the intercity truck trade is up, and that's why my Alliance Dual is max level. And then the second thing I need to talk about that I completely forgot is that the Alliance Dual Tech tree does have a second portion that comes out at the end of season 1. I believe that's a timeline. Go ahead and comment below if you guys know the exact day or after, in the server. The second that this drops, go ahead and unlock this, and if it's entirety, it's just going to help you secure better rewards for yourself and have an easier time unlocking all of your chests in Alliance Duel. Now, this final tech down here is called the Infinite Roulette Wheel. Essentially what it is for every 10 million points you get after unlocking your 7.2 million chest, which is over here, you'll get this little wheel. And all these points add up, and once you have 10 million in extra points or excess points, you will get a roulette spin. Now, these points never expire, they never go away. So let's say on drone day, you hit 20 million points and you unlock 13 million extra points, you'll get at least one roulette spin, and then you'll have 3 million in excess. That never goes away, and that stacks until the next time that you break your 7.2 million. You don't have to worry about that. And then the second thing that here is, this is what the wheel is. It's nothing like special. You're not going to get anything huge. Obviously, you can get these little gifts. That's always a nice win. It's just extra stuff for you. If you're going to be breaking the bank, scoring really high on VS, you might as well do it anyway. So those are the two most important things I need to say. Get out of the way. All that being said, moving forward, I did talk about tier 10 troops. Now, tier 10 troops brings you to just about that 40% on the special forces tree that you need to be at anyway. You need to get up to level 40 or level 40% on your special forces tree in order to unlock the siege to seize and defense fortifications here. So once you get up to 40%, which as I said, it's about tier 10 troops, just go ahead and max out the top or whatever you need to do to get up to that 40%. And then you're going to move on to siege to seize. Once you're on to siege to seize, I do recommend coming all the way down and grabbing this extra drill grounds here. Now, these top ones aren't super important. Obviously, this is a nice little buff for you. This very top one is load capacity is useless. Do not care about that. But again, the extra drill grounds is what makes this completely, utterly worth it. As you can see here, I did not move further down through the tree. And that's not because this tree isn't good, because this tree is phenomenal. As we talked about here, it's an extra 5% to attack, defense, and HP. That is here 3 times. Go ahead and invest in this tree. Make sure that you're getting to the bottom of it. All of these are fantastic. This increases your drill grounds capacity by 10%. This increases your march speed by 5% once you max it out. And this increases your enemies or opponents' casualty rate or death rate, which is super nice because it's going to give you the advantage over them in battle. Now, this entire tech tree is phenomenal, and I do recommend maxing it out. And so why I only have it 27% is kind of a mystery, but I'll definitely explain why in just a minute. The second tech tree that you unlock at 40% is going to be defense fortifications. Now, obviously, this first one here gives you an extra hospital. Go ahead and do that. Why not? Extra hospital. and it's relatively cheap too. But then the rest of this tree is kind of hit or miss, right? Because I think a lot of this is pointless. I do like the way down here, I do like the survival skills because this will decrease the death rate of your units in world map PvP battles. That's pretty much everything across the board. Tiles, reinforcing a base, reinforcing your own, reinforcing a capital building, all this. This is going to decrease your death rate of your units. That's a great one there. And obviously, as I talked about, boosting your march speed is a fantastic thing to do. But the problem I have with this entire tech tree here in of itself is the fact that this really caters to your really, really strong players. As I talked about in one of my previous videos, one of my most popular videos on my channel is talking about things that you didn't know about Last War. And one of the top things that kind of goes unnoticed is that you should be taking your troops completely off the wall. Now, me, I have my first squad on the wall, or all my squads on the wall, because we had Zombie Siege and I just wanted to have all of those there. When it comes time to Warzone Duel and pretty much any other event, such as the Meteor event and whatever else may be taking place, I take all my squads off the wall because you lose more troops when your squads are on the wall versus if you don't have them on the wall. So regardless, now that you have that kind of a mini lesson, having all of this defense stuff means nothing because I'm not defending myself anyway. I'm allowing them to hit me. I'm allowing them to ash me. I'm allowing them to blow me off the side of the map because I do not want to lose more troops than what I have to. So for me, even though I was a heavy spender in the beginning, I've really toned back and I spend like maybe 20 bucks every other week. I don't spend a whole lot of money. None of this makes sense. And it won't make sense for anybody other than really heavy spenders either, or, you know, top 10 in your server. Maybe then this makes sense. But the rest of this is kind of silly. The only things I really like here are going to be the hospital's capacity. I think that's fantastic. And then I already talked about the march speed and the decrease in death rates. Now, however, the most silly thing that this entire tech tree has to offer is the increased protection limit for food, iron, and coin. I just need to reiterate to you guys completely, you guys have full control over this. You guys will pretty much, however much resources you lose is completely on you because you do not have to have your resources unlocked. You can keep them in chests and only unlock those chests or use those chests when it's time for an upgrade or anything else. This is silly. This is completely silly. I don't even know why this is a tech that they offer. Do not do this. Do not waste your resources in investing in this. The other one that's kind of interesting is the reduced resource cost for healing. Now, if you're a penny pincher or you were really, really stingy with resources, this is going to be a good one. But if you're kind of like me and you just don't really care that much about resources, this means nothing. And that's why I have not gone through defense fortifications. So instead, once I got my 4th drill grounds and I got siege disease up to 27%, I didn't really care about defense fortifications, but I did grab that extra hospital because I think that's really nice. I went ahead and backtracked up to my special forces because in order to unlock siege disease and defense fortifications, again, you need 40%. But in order to unlock these 3 down here, missile, aircraft, and tank, you need an 80% in your special forces. Now, this is where things get a bit more fun and a bit more tricky because now it's about maximizing what you can for your tech tree and what is going to be the best for you. Now, right off the rip, these top 7 techs here, phenomenal. Go through these, unlock these, get these maxed out. I think it's great. I don't think that the training speed up is bad, and I don't think the number of trainees is bad either, but I did skip that because at the end of the day, this down here is what's more important. These 3 right above the morale, max them out completely. They're still relatively cheap and still relatively quick, and it's nice for you. It's a nice little buff for your squad, your troops, your heroes, all that stuff being said. And then finally, this one right here is the morale. Boost units morale to 25%. Now, if you guys don't know what morale is, I'm going to read it verbatim here. Morale is a unique attribute of units. A squad's morale is determined by the level of the units, the hero's march size, and the morale bonuses. So 3 things there. In battle, the side with a higher morale inflicts extra damage on the lower morale side with a cap of 100%. That being said, here's the thing. You could have a lower level hero. You could have lower level troops. You could have lower level this. If it's relatively close, right? If you're only down by like maybe 500,000 power, if you have more morale, you're gonna win because morale is going to essentially take all that damage that they're doing to you and you have to do more because morale requires. So I know that there's like technically a science behind it, but I'm not gonna dive into it. I will do deep dive videos in the future, but for right now, I'm not gonna be doing the deep dive video now. Yes, morale is super, super important and it's very, very underrated. I don't see enough people talking about units morale, and frankly, they should. And then if you're going to continue to go down through the tech tree, I do recommend these 3 down here. These are probably the best bang for your buck. Again, not bad idea if you decided to increase your hospital's capacity. Wouldn't be mad at you. I just don't like the resource costs here, and I know I can do it cheaper in one of the other tech trees that are available. And then obviously you need these bottom 5 maxed in order to get your T10s, which goes back to last video anyway. Are you enjoying this video? Are you enjoying this video a lot? Go ahead and leave a like on the video. Make sure that you're subscribing to the channel, hitting that notification bell because it's free to you. And if you're enjoying the content, it helps me out. And obviously comment below if you like what you're seeing. Thank you all so much. Back to the video. Now, this next part of the video is actually a bit more interesting because it is completely based on what type of player you are and what squad you are primarily focused in. So for example, I'm an aircraft squad main and I do not spend much money or much resources or anything else on either tank or missile mastery. But when it came time to unlock my special forces up to 80%, I knew exactly why I was doing it. It's because in order to unlock these, you need 80%. And once you have them, you choose whatever one you want. Whales are going to do all three. No matter what you do, whales should do all three. You should get to the bottom of them. They're expensive, they're time consuming, and I guarantee not a single person I know is already all the way through every single one of these. But for you and I, well, more or less you, because you're more of an average player than I am, I have spent quite a bit of the money. You kind of have to choose one primary. And for me, that's going to be the aircraft squad. I recommend obviously just maxing this entire tree out from top to bottom. It is incredible. These are just going to increase your base percentage by whatever. So like this one is from 0.3 to 0.45 for each aircraft hero deployed. The attack of all aircraft heroes in the team is boosted, so that's a great thing. Same thing here with the defense and the HP as well. So this one right here is going to increase your damage by 20% for each aircraft hero deployed. So the damage, it's going to be boosted by that amount. That's a huge bonus for everybody that's running that. And then obviously, I say obviously because not a lot of people know this, but probably the best tech in this entire tree here is going to be the hero march size boost. Now, the reason this one is kind of important, and I'd say better or more important than the rest of them, maybe besides the damage reduction here, is that this is going to increase your troops and might be messed up with my thinking here, but I think that this increases 10 plus 10 march size per hero. So you have 5 aircraft heroes, that's going to increase your march size by plus 50. I do believe, I could be completely mistaken. I have no idea. I think that's how that works. Never really specifies. It might only actually increase the whole march by 10, the whole squad by 10. It says hero march size boost. So I don't know. And there is 2 of them. So that increases it by 20 total. And if you have the deco that I talked about, which is the God of Judgment, that increases by almost 30 per hero. So now you have 150 extra troops just in your one singular march, which is going to be a huge advantage and a huge strategic advantage over anybody else relatively the same size. And then obviously, I already said the other one that I really like here, and I think this might actually be better than the march size increase, is the damage reduction. So as I talked about in my decoration videos, one of the most important things is how much damage are you doing and how much damage are you taking. The damage reduction is just it's just a blanket thing every time you get hit that this percentage is going to be completely reduced. Whereas defense doesn't come into it, HP doesn't come into it, none of that matters. Damage reduction is literally just talking about how much damage are you taking, how much damage are we taking away from that. So it's pretty much that simple. I recommend getting to the bottom of this in whatever one you primarily focus in, whether that be aircraft, tank, or missile, or if you have multiple squads, go with all of them. But it's not going to be cheap. I need to forewarn you there. It's not going to be cheap, and it is very time consuming. I'm talking about techs that take a week right off the rip. So this one, for example, takes 7 days just to get to level 3. It's not cheap. It's not quick. It's definitely a grind. And that's pretty much all I have to say. With all that being said, I do hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, so you don't miss any future videos. You can hit that notification bell there so you're notified every time that I upload. And also comment below if you agree, disagree, because this game is incredibly opinion based, and I'm not here to say that I'm right and everybody else is wrong. I'm just here to share what I've learned throughout my years of playing the game. So thank you all so much, and jelly out. Peace.